That right there is playoff football. No matter what happens, this jersey stays on. You can probably see I'm shaking a little bit because this is what the postseason is all about. High scoring affairs one day, defensive contests in a blizzard the next day. There's a lot that went on in this game. There's a lot of good and a lot of bad, but at the end of the day, the Eagles have punched their ticket back to their second NFC championship in 3 years. The Eagles are going to be hosting the division rival Washington Commanders in their surprise return after over 30 years to an NFC championship game. Zach Ertz, Olamide Zaccheaus making their return with guys like Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin back to the field where the Eagles beat the same team 26-19 in November. What a game. To the Rams fans, it was insane. You guys played insanely good. You guys played with a lot of heart. There's so much good on your team. And with everything going on in LA, great freaking job, okay? Like, no matter what, I know, you guys got a couple players that hate us over here, the fans in Philly, but I'll speak as a fan of Philadelphia and give you guys your credit because you guys balled out. You guys played to the very last second of this game. And at the end of the day, even with our mistakes, we had one turnover, which was the Jalen Hurts safety, which in my eyes, people are going to disagree with me. In my eyes, that was the only real blemish on his half. I don't know what the hell Kellen Moore is doing, having him drop back so much the way he was, with free rushers running up on him. Mekhi Becton needs to check himself on this film and realize how many times he let guys run free at Hurts. Like, I don't know. Hurts got hit too many times. He got banged up with his knee. Hopefully he's okay. Quinyon Mitchell went out with a shoulder injury. Hopefully he's okay. And then his backup, Isaiah Rodgers, also went out. It looked like he was grabbing at his calf. We don't know for certain. Keely Ringo came in for the last few minutes and did okay for what was going on. But at the end of the day, there's a few players that we got to, give a lot of credit to for this win. At the end of the day, I'm going to look at Saquon Barkley, hands down, without a doubt, running for 190-something yards, 2 touchdowns, blowing kisses to the Rams that were calling us out. Wishing them best of luck on their journey back to LA because, my God, he took over this game when it mattered the most, like he always does. And that's the beauty of this team because no matter what someone tries to tell me about how this passing game looks, and it did not look good today, Kellen Moore clearly was not focused today, and I want to attribute that to the interviews. It was the same thing with Jonathan Gannon in the Super Bowl. He was interviewing for the Cardinals the week of the Super Bowl. Like, focus on today. Focus on right now. You have a chance to punch your ticket back to a Super Bowl next week. Focus on that right now. And I believe that they'll clean their act up. But it felt like today they were trying to do too much with certain pass plays. But while I did focus on Saquon, A.J. Brown, there's all this drama about you in the book last week, and then all the talk about, back in the season, calling out the passing game for not being good enough. You dropped 2 easy passes. One could have converted a first down. Another one was on a second down, and it was a touchdown potential catch that you dropped. You had it right in your chest, and you dropped it. You got to be better. Devontae, Goddard, Saquon, Hurts, they all put what they could out there, and it was enough. Coaching really needs to come out and put these players in better positions to play. Jalen Hurts, in some occasions, needs to get rid of the football. That safety, again, I'll mention, was all on him 100%. But at the end of the day, you had guys stepping up left and right on the defensive side, making plays. Jalen Carter with essentially the game-sealing sack on 3rd down that forces them into a 4th and long, and they end up winning the game the next play. Beautiful, fantastic. Zach Bond playing really, really good. Jalen Carter also had a strip sack. I mean, actually not even a strip sack. It was on a running play. It was a fun. We had 2 fumbles. I'm scrambling. I'm sorry. I'm amped up right now. Like this, I did not expect this to go the way it went. It's crazy. But Darius Slay, big play Slay, dropped an interception early on. Cooper DeJean dropped an interception as well towards the end of the game. But they were making plays everywhere, from top to bottom. The linebacker, Zach Bond, Burks, everybody, Jeremiah Trotter, the whole 9 yards. Defense has been lights out. They did let the Rams score real quick, though, to get it to 28-22, which I do not like. But when it mattered most, they were able to make it happen. They were able to stop the Rams. At the end of the day, and I keep saying that a lot, but really, like, this is really legitimate. Like, no matter how you feel about the way the games are going, no matter how it looks, no one plays the Eagles like you see teams play the Lions. No one plays the Eagles like you see the teams, like you see the Ravens play. Like, you don't hit massive plays consistently on this defense. You do not open things up as quickly as you want with this defense. You do not get into a rhythm on up against this defense. And that is the beauty of this defense and the beauty of this team. Because 2 years ago, we didn't have a defense that we can rely on like this to get you out of a tough jam, to force back-to-back fumbles, to put points on the board. We didn't have that 2 years ago. 2 years ago, we had an explosive offense, but we had a defense that was paper thin, and you could just literally, like, run right through. Like, it was unbelievable, and that's what happened against the Chiefs. Got out to a huge lead, and we couldn't figure out how to stop them after that. This team is different. This team can find ways to come back from behind and keep a team down, and I love that. It's more stressful, of course, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to see a team burn out. I'm not going to see this team fizzle out as quickly as they would if they were to put up 21 points in the second quarter and then score 3 field goals the next half of the game and expect to win that way. This team, when it matters most, puts up the points, makes the turnover happen, makes the critical stop, gets the sack to end the game, makes the long run to score a touchdown and put this game out of reach. Saquon, Barkley, Jalen Hurts, everybody. They're making the passes. They're making the runs. They're stopping the other team. It's ugly, and it needs to be better, of course. There's no doubt in my mind. But the fact that we are where we're at right now, and they could be playing so much better, even with the conditions going on, like, doesn't that scare an opponent a little bit? Of course, the Commanders are not going to be scared at all. They're going to be looking at us like, well, we beat you last time. Yeah, with Kenny Pickett, and you barely beat us. They're gonna look at us and say, well, you know, we took down the number 1 seed Lions, who are a fraud. They had no competition in that division. The Packers and the Vikings, we could tell that they weren't as good as the Lions. But the Lions, as good as they are, as good as they were, too many injuries on that defense. They could not stop anybody. This team, this Philadelphia Eagles team is not like that. You better not let us linger for too long. If you're going to take the game away, take it away early and knock us out, or else we're going to come right back. And we're going to beat you like we did the Rams, like we did the Packers, like we did the Cowboys, like we did the Commanders round 1, like we did everybody that we beat this year. It wasn't a pretty blowout, top 10 everywhere, great plays, none of that. But this team thrives on adversity, and they thrive on being doubted. And the more you doubt us and the more you look at us like we're lesser of you, the more we're going to come back and punch you square in the face and take this game away. And that's what they did tonight when it mattered the most. You got the Rams, and they're coming. They are aggressive. They're angry. They're making us earn every single thing. They're stuffing the run. They're getting at Hurts. What happens? The defense responds. And what happens one play later? Jalen Hurts reads that defense, hands it off to his number 1 running back in the NFL, and he's off to the races. It's that simple. A.J. Brown, clean up your act, catch the football. Kellen Moore, do better with your play calling. Get Hurts moving and out of the pocket, because the more he stays in there, if it's not clean enough, the more it's going to become a bad play. That's just what it is. Like, at the end of the day, and I got to stop saying that, this team has a lot of potential that the coaches really need to realize that they're holding back in certain areas. And if they let loose in certain moments like they did tonight, in the key moments where they took the game away, this team can do the unthinkable. We just got to see the coaches give them the chance to do it. Let me know how you guys feel. I know I probably missed a few things because I'm just running off of pure adrenaline and unscripted content. That's what I'm known for. These are my takes and my takes alone. Eagles defense reigns supreme. Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts run all over the Rams once again. I know A.J. Brown and Devontae didn't really get their own, but there were a few deep passes that were dropped. Both of them had a deep shot dropped, and it's not like Hurts wasn't targeting them or putting the ball in the money. He was making good throws and good reads today. The Rams came at them and gave them all they could with the blitz and everything like that. We got to scheme better for it. We're going up against Washington next week. It's a team we know very well. It's a team that we've beaten before, and we've almost beaten twice. We can do this. I'll talk to you guys later. Fly, Eagles, fly. Enjoy the rest of your night. Don't think too harshly about Jalen Hurts or anything. This game was a crazy, bizarre blizzard game. We got the job done, and that's all that matters. Let's focus on next week. See you guys then.